YouTube.
All right,
everyone, welcome. We're ready?
Any moment now. Yep, we are ready.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 96 Boards Open Hours. My name is Robert Wolf. Today is March 15th, and you are tuned into episode 95. We have a very special guest with us, one of our return guests, Keith Lee from Gumstix. We will be introducing him in just a moment. I'm very excited because I don't know if you caught, episode 95, right? What comes next? That is episode 96. And episode 96, kind of goes with the whole 96 boards. I mean, it might sound silly, but I'm super excited to do next week's episode. Not only that, it just so happened, like out of luck, right? We've been doing this for over a year and a half now. Episode 96 happened to fall on the week that we are going to be in Hong Kong, China for Lenaro Connect. So we'll be doing our episode 96 live from Hong Kong. We will have a live panel of some of our partners, some representatives from the Lenaro partners and community, and we will be doing the broadcast from there. We will, as usual, as we do in our Lenaro Connects, we will be broadcasting to a live audience on Blue Jeans, and we will also have an audience in the crowd. So we'll be taking questions from both live audience and a video audience, right? So that's very exciting. Keep your eyes on the 96boards.org/open hours page for information, more information on that particular episode and how to tune in. Now, one last announcement that I have, and I said this, I think, before the videos came on, but you will notice that, this isn't my normal background, right? So I'm not at home. I hope that this doesn't affect network connectivity issues. I'm now in Mexico. I've done, I think, a couple episodes from this location before, but yeah. So thank you for any future, hopefully, problems if something happens, for being patient with that. Great. Now, we're going to do things a little differently here, all right? One of the things we're going to be doing different is that we have Sahaj on the call. Sahaj, if you're not familiar, is a applications engineer for 96 Boards. He's waving. And we're going to do our best to do kind of this co-host thing, all right? So he's going to be the co-host today. We're going to kind of split this time up. Is that okay, Sahaj?
Sounds good.
Oh, he's muted. All right, cool, perfect. So Robert Wolf, Sahaj Sarup, we're gonna do this co-host thing, and I look very much forward to talking with you, Keith Lee. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's good to be back. Pretty excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. So back, I think the episodes that you did was a two-part run, and this was back when we were in, I think, Open Hours episode 20 or 25 at the most.
24 and 25. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago. Yeah. So Sahaj, maybe if you wouldn't mind sharing the links to Keith's old videos. I have, first of all, two questions, but before I get into those first two questions, could you just introduce yourself once more to make sure we kind of know,
Sure.
Everyone knows who you are?
Yeah, I'm a Gumstix engineer, and I'm a bit of a tinkerer and gadget guy. So I spend a lot of my time here working on little demos for the boards that we make. We make all kinds of boards for our computer on modules and other third-party comms, and obviously we make mezzanines for 96 boards. Yeah, we've been in the business for 15 years and started pioneering like ubiquitous embedded Linux with our comms, and I mean, along with some other companies at the same time, but 15 years ago. Anyway, yeah, so I've been here for 2 years, and it's a great experience working here. And if you don't know about Gepetto, it's our online tool for designing your own board. You can just slap blocks onto a virtual PCB, click the generate button, and order your board for an engineering fee. And we take care of the primary, the startup engineering tasks, including the BOM and initial fabrication. So that's how we design our own boards, and we also deliver boards to our customers that way as well. Yeah, so that's me. That's Gumstix.
Yeah, and so Sahaj just shared the two episodes, episode 24 and episode 25. In those episodes, episode 24 is all about Geppetto. So I would definitely suggest checking those videos out, especially if you like what Keith shows us today. You'll want to go back and watch the other episodes that he did back like over a year ago. Now, before we dive into this new content that you're going to create, episode 25 was about the 96 boards Gumstix drone, right? That you built with the Dragon Board 410C. Yeah, so I was kind of hoping that you could provide us with a small update on either the drone or if there have been any big changes into Geppetto. And as Keith mentioned, it's an awesome piece of software. But have there been any updates on Geppetto or the drone since we talked last?
For those interested in what we're doing for 96 boards, is we also added a top side mezzanine connector. So if you want all your components on one side, you want to limit the underside clearance, you can put your Dragon board or bubblegum on top of your Geppetto board. We added some cool new automated features, including automatically generated board support files, and we also have like automatically generated documentation, and we added Arduino support for our MCUs, including the STM32, which is the MCU on the Dragon board, on the Aero core for Dragon board. And then I have to admit, I haven't been able to get back to the drone for some time. I've been, working hard on these auto BSP features, and the drone just sort of took a backseat for the time being. But yeah, I'm really excited to get back on the Dragon board and put that together.
That was a pretty epic episode. I think that was one of our highest attended episodes as well. There was like 70 or 80 people in the call, and you should have seen it with the drone literally like lifted off and moved around, and it was cool. I think there was it messed up
over and nearly crashed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cool. So Keith, I think what we want to know more than anything right now is, what has Gumstix or yourself been working on lately? Like what are we looking forward to today?
Well, so for today, I'm going to show you the next iteration in AeroCore for Dragon board. We actually decided to rebrand it. It's the AeroCore 2 CD for Dragon board 410C, and it just went onto our storefront last night, and yeah, it's quite a step up from the original. Beyond that, we've added a lot of new Raspberry Pi features. So we're supporting the Raspberry Pi compute module, and for Pi Day we actually released an Alexa voice services board. So you can make your own, what's it called, Echo with Raspberry Pi with the compute module. We have one for Tordex's Calibri IMX7 as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Arduino work. So I did back for Christmas, I did a relay controller, a motion detector relay controller that, when someone entered the room, the Christmas tree would light up here in the office, and I could control it over the Cayenne IoT interface. And yeah, so beyond that, yeah, it's been a lot of this auto BSP stuff, which is what's really exciting for me right now. And any more questions before I go to my next step here?
Oh, do you have a presentation for us?
Just a quick, like literally 3 slides that I wanted to show you.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely look at those slides. I want to see them. So before you go on though, you mentioned that you're working with the Raspberry Pi. Did anyone see the Raspberry Pi B plus or Raspberry Pi 3 B plus release? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I'll tell you one thing. They tout the power over Ethernet on the B plus with the
Yeah, that's sort of a gimmicky feature in my opinion.
Pardon me?
The PoE feature that they say that's there, it feels like it's sort of gimmicky, though it's not really on there. They're passing it through a mezzanine or something, and I'm like, oh, why?
It's very clever, actually. What they've done is they've just taken the 48 volts off the line and put it out to a header on the board, so that they don't have to pay for the expense of scaling down that 48 volts to power the part. So the idea is that the top board plugs into the header and contains the voltage regulators, which are relatively expensive, so they keep a cheap board while still using the actual Ethernet jack on the chassis unmodified, which means it should fit into a lot of cases unmodified. It's a hack, but it's a clever one.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But we already had power over Ethernet for the compute module with our. We have a LoRaWAN gateway board for the Raspberry Pi compute module that includes the power over Ethernet and our module for LTE through the NimbleLink SkyWire attachments. So yeah, I'd say we got there first for Raspberry Pi.
I mean, honestly,
power over Ethernet modules are available in Geppetto too. So if you want to add it to your own board, then you can do that. It's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, I shared the Geppetto link in the chat. So if I would definitely suggest people go click that and check it out. It's very cool software. And again, Sahaj also shared the video that Keith did last year or a year before that on Geppetto. So definitely check that out. One of the things, I'm sorry, because I just find this so interesting. One of the other things that Raspberry Pi 3 or Raspberry Pi did with the Raspberry Pi 3 B Plus is that they got an FCC certification. So now I guess technically you can throw Raspberry Pis in a product, right? If you want to do that, cool, good for you. But I thought that was also another pretty interesting announcement because as far as I know, that might be the first that single board computer that is that cheap that you can just throw in a product, So very cool. Anyways, Keith, yes, please take it away. We can have more Raspberry Pi 3 B plus conversations after.
Yeah, okay. So like I said, I have literally 3 slides to show you, just sort of introducing the Aero Core 2 features.
Cool.
So can you see my slides here?
We can, yes.
Okay, so yeah, we dubbed it the Aero Core 2 CD for Dragon Board 410C, CD for camera and display, because that's the main new features on the board. So we have 2 CSI2 connectors and a DSI ribbon connector. So those are the 2 main new features. So we have the CSI2 connector is compatible with this KLT OV5640 5-megapixel camera. I'm not sure if that's the one that D3 Engineering is supporting right now, but it's certainly the same sensor. We've also put in a 39-pin OLED display connector over here. Can you see my cursor? I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yeah, we can see it. It's
okay, it's probably pretty small. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's fine.
Okay, so 2 other minor changes we made to the design are we added a kill switch for the buzzer. Had to throw the pun in there, but I like to turn off the buzzer when I'm debugging the system. But the usual features are still there. The Cortex M4, the 40-pin GPIO header. That includes pins for both the ST Micro and for the Dragon Board GPIOs. Several serial bus connectors along the top edge. DSM2 remote receiver connector for the. It's used for the satellite receiver, so you have to program it with the master, and then you remove it and just connect it to the board that way. There's 2 console ports. One's for the 96 boards. One's for the STM module, and then of course there's the balance connector, the 16-volt balance connector over here. 8 PWMs, so you could technically do an opticopter with this board, or a very very complex robot. It has the LTE modem connector here, so it supports the NimbeLink SkyWire, which I think it uses the Zigbee interface. Then it's got the usual 9-axis IMU and a barometer for altitude. So with the new stuff, I thought the 2 cameras were pretty cool because you could have a downward-facing camera so that you could do airborne payload delivery, dropping water balloons on your friends. Or you could do computer vision assisted precision landing. I've seen videos of drones landing on the roofs of cars while the cars are moving. That would definitely benefit from some computer vision. Maybe some surveying. You could plot a flight plan that would do a grid search of a given region and take photos at regular intervals. And then, of course, with the DSI screen, I like the idea of having a ground control interface right there on the board, right there on the drone, so you can sit there in the field where you're going to launch it and sort of place your own markers on the map for your my words have gone. I'm just, flight plan. There we go. That's it. Okay, so those are my slides. That's it for slides. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you that the DSI display works, that I can stream a camera to the DSI display, and that I can very easily stream over UDP to my desktop through the Wi-Fi. So what's really neat about this demo is that all of the drivers and the device tree support for the screen and the cameras are going to be built into our own custom flavor of Yocto Linux, which we're providing the source code for on our GitHub. Just github.com/Gumstix. We have our Yocto manifest on there. So yeah, it's the reason we like doing this is because we can guarantee that everything that we put on a 96 board Mezzanine will be supported by our BSP, that we can test it easily. So we like to supply that to the customer as well, so they can get up and running as fast as possible.
Yeah, so real quick, I want to ask more questions about this, the Aero core. So you mentioned there were two micro USB ports, one for the 96 board standard, and then one for the STM chip that's on board, right? So yeah. Basically, you would use these to program them separately, right? Now, on top of that, the board seems to be pretty stacked with all these other features, and I think it kind of gets overlooked when you kind of look at all these other mezzanines that are out there, right? I feel that the Aero core is one of the most overlooked mezzanines, and it really is one of the most stacked mezzanines with the most features that's out there. I mean, you really can't go wrong. And to kind of top that off, with a CAN bus on there, you can also do all sorts of automotive stuff, right? Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I don't know if have you tinkered with any automotive stuff yet?
I've always had difficulties getting up and running with CAN bus. So I, once I've spent a little bit of time on it, I say, I'll move on to something I can do. But all I can say is that I've checked the firmware on my own car with a neighbor's CAN bus device, just to see what's going on in there. But I haven't worked on it in the lab. I think of it as when you're putting embedded Linux into a car, it's it's cool that it talks to the car too, but I think it's primarily for user interface features like media, displays, that kind of thing. Most of the rest of the stuff is pretty much handled by microcontrollers and bare wire programming. So I haven't had to dabble too far into that. One of the cool things though about the news with Auto BSP is that because we've able to get BSP support for Arduino IDE built into Geppetto, you can actually program the ST Micro chip on here to run Arduino sketches. Like, right, it comes pre-installed with the PX4 software, the autopilot software.
So that was like one of my questions is that what do you program the STM32 with that? Is it running any sort of RTOS?
Yeah, the PX4 uses the NUTX RTOS and easily flashes over the USB console port. In fact, it's very well integrated with the Q ground control software. So there's actually the ability to plug the board in, launch the software, and update the firmware through that. Just using the NUTX, the bootloader on the NUTX RTOS. Arduino's a bit more tricky. Because it's an STM, you got to program it over the JTAG or SWD. I can't remember if it's JTAG or SWD, but you got to use the programmer for that. Until we can, because I think the STM Arduino boards, they have a bootloader chip on them, which provides the USB interface for that. So until we put that on there, you got to use the programmer. Which I mean isn't a bad thing because it's good to have the debug access. But yeah, you're right, Robert. This is a really complete board. It's got a lot of features, and I'm really excited every time I use it.
Yeah, I feel that you could go explore one thing at a time, and just you'd never run out of things to do. Yeah, cool. So you have this demo on site?
Yeah. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna show you the simultaneous dual streaming cameras over UDP, and I'm gonna show you one camera streaming to the display. I can do both. Very easily. All I've done is I've set up a couple of bash scripts that launch GStreamer. That's as much coding as I've had to do for this because the rest is built into the kernel.
Very nice.
So I'll quickly just show you my rig. It's very ad hoc. Here it is. So I've got the DSI display on top. And then I've got the Dragon board here connected. This is hard to do. My video is so small. But you can see the Aero core and the Dragon board mounted underneath. And I only had 2 standoffs that were the right size, but it works.
So I do have a question for the displays. Like whenever anything comes up for a display mezzanine, it's always like it's easier to make a display mezzanine, but it's not very easy to source a display. So is the Aero core using some sort of a generic display, or is it something specific?
I actually don't know how generic the interface is for the LCD screen. It's an OLED screen, I mean, sorry. But we have sourced one, and we're going to be putting it up on our storefront, so we'll make it available. It's from OSD Displays. It's OSD 055A. There's a whole bunch of other numbers after that, but we're looking into lead times and that kind of thing for it. So we'll get to that. I think that was one of the. Pardon me.
That was one of like the hot topics of last year, which was we're really trying to get a an LED or is a screen to plug into the 96 boards form factor. So
well, hopefully we can figure out the supply issue with these things, and we'll be selling it on our storefront.
cool.
Now, so I'm going to fire up this board, and we can start.
I like the office setup you guys have there.
It's a nice open
bean
office.
bags in the back.
Yeah, we like to be comfortable. Now, let's see. I have my cell phone connected to the call as well, so I can show you. There's our Yocto with XFCE. I'm not using the touch screen. I've got a keyboard and mouse set up here, so I can actually go in here, show you it's all up and running.
Yeah, so while you're setting that up, it looks like Todd has a question in the chat, and I'll read the kind of intro to this. But he says, "Back to my favorite use case," because yeah, Todd has brought up this use case before. He just finished a meetup in Santa Fe with the co-founder of Descartes Lab. But so the question is, are you looking at aerial drone usage for agriculture, large land, use places like national forests, golf courses, wildlife refuges, etc.? Also, how about transportation traffic analysis?
Well, we're not really we're not doing software for it, right? These are evaluation products. They're development products. So we love to supply these to companies that are doing things like that. I don't know if anyone's using this particular board in agriculture or any of those applications, but they're like, especially with this downward-facing camera, that is definitely something that this board is capable of. So what I'm going to do now is maybe I can just show you how simple these scripts are. I'll just
I'm on this couch. You know what? I think I'm gonna put my legs up.
I'm just gonna scroll through the script here so you can see it's really straightforward.
Okay, so real quick, just so you know, everything on the top left of the screen won't be seen. So if you want to just kind of
okay, well, yeah,
just
all it says
a little
is bin
okay.
dash, but you can see here it's really a short script, and all it does is it launches these two GST launch commands. Oh no, not those ones. This one here. It just gathers some information automatically based on your UDP stream, and then I also have. I can show you the device one too. Really straightforward, just receives a couple arguments and then configures the media port and launches GST launch. So now what I'll do is I'll actually launch the UDP streamer, and then maybe I can just
So are you so you're trying to receive the video from the board on your host machine, or
yeah,
you're trying to? Okay, cool.
I'm using a UDP sync through GStreamer. Let's see, has it come up yet? It takes a little while, especially when I'm broadcasting.
That's all right. We got time.
Keith and Robert, are you going right to the hardware itself on the board, or can these also run in containers? Or What are you doing right now?
Pardon me?
So he's asking if you're using any hardware acceleration on the board.
For the UDP stream, no, there's no hardware acceleration. I do use OpenGL when I render on the board itself, just to try and sneak a few more frames out. But for the UDP stream, it doesn't seem to want to stream the OpenGL convert to the UDP sync. Huh.
We're running into. Are the demo gods not happy with us?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the feed here.
All right. Well, so maybe you think you could answer some questions for us while?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So while you troubleshoot that, now I am personally interested in this because it happened a while ago, but Gumstix used to make two other boards, right? The Donna and the Radium. If you would recall.
Yes.
I kind of. What happened to those?
Well, with the Radium, since Intel decided to discontinue the Intel Joule, the Curie, and the Edison all at once, their entire IoT library gone. The Radium's pretty much dead in the water because we can't stock the part. But as for the Donna, what we're working on right now, and we've sort of hinted at this before, is we're creating a drop-in replacement for the Intel Joule. So we're actually going to support, as best we can, any project that's based on the Joule using an IMX6 SoC.
So there'll be an IMX6 drop-in?
Yeah, it's an IMX6 based drop-in replacement for the Intel Joule. We're still pounding through the testing, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, so if anyone hasn't seen the Donna yet, the Donna is a consumer edition footprint for a 96 board's consumer edition board, right? But you would be able to buy the Donna, you could buy the Joule, and then you could pop the Joule into the Donna, and you have a Donna-based 96 boards. So I think that this is really cool. And I remember talking to you about this a long time ago, what's going to happen. And it's nice to see that, that you do plan on keeping the Donna around, and now you're actually throwing an ARM chip on there. So that's cool.
Yeah. It as a COM, right? So it'll look exactly like, well, not exactly, but it'll be the same form factor as the Intel Joule was, and it'll have a lot of the features that the Intel Joule had. It'll have an onboard CSI2 connector. I am still not getting this stream.
Uh-oh.
The demo gods have reared the ugly head.
Yeah, Tyeth says that's a great plan as well.
Yeah.
So he also says
I don't know how many people actually picked up on the Intel Joule bandwagon here. I'm going to try streaming one camera. That works better.
Yeah, so Tyeth also says maybe the video input number changed with additional streaming device.
It won't have changed on my desktop because it's a UDP sync. Okay, I can show you one camera apparently here because of bandwidth, I guess. So I can. bigger. So I'm just sharing my GStreamer feed. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Yes.
It's a little bit pixelated. Let me just unwire myself. But again, this is UDP, so I'm dropping a lot of data. There's the office. There's people at their desks working away.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, reduced bandwidth makes it look a little crunchy, but it's definitely there.
And so usually you would have two cameras there, though, right?
Yeah, you know, I'll just let me just give it another shot here.
Yeah. So it looks like Todd has asked another question in the chat. It says, in most of the video designed for is most of the video designed for land-based video? You know, I think the use cases become kind of infinite, right? I mean, like you're talking about a development board. You can basically develop whatever you want. I would imagine you could do it land-based, water-based, air. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the second half. Any opinions or any options, sorry, for satellite or underwater video? If you've got the right enclosure, you could do underwater, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I think this puts high quality video just about anywhere you want it. So, okay, what I'm gonna do here, I can't seem to get enough bandwidth on the local network to receive the two camera feed. But what I'll do is I'll show you the two cameras on the board itself. So all I have to do is, because of the scripts I wrote, all I have to do is I have to just change two of the arguments. And I'm going to share these on GitHub as well. And I'll send Robert the link when it's up. Actually, let me just, I'll type it in here. I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah, and also we will be hopefully releasing a written blog, and I know I say this after every week, but this week I will do it. We'll try.
Okay, I'm going to bring up
So
my full camera here. So
I'm so backlogged on Open Hours blogs.
You didn't do it on the last one.
I didn't.
Can you guys see my feed from my phone?
I can't.
No.
Should be in there.
Let me see. Oh yeah. So I can see it. Let me pin this real quick. So Keith Lee, let me pin this one real quick. This should be the one.
Yep.
All right. So that is the feed from the phone. Yeah.
So as you can see, I have both cameras up. I have a little issue getting the one camera to rotate in my script. All the same, both cameras are streaming to the DSI display. And as a better example, what I'm going to do is reconnect my keyboard. And then run it just for camera one.
You have the little terminal there. That's awesome.
Let me just disconnect this so I have some freedom. So this is cool because I have it rotated in the script so that it fills the screen. And then it's a forward-facing camera. Yeah.
How big is the screen? It's 7 or is it 5?
It's 5.5. So
yeah, I was actually looking for the exact same kind of a display for the VR stuff that we are doing with the high key. I think it would be nice if we can get the hands.
Yeah,
well,
that's true. That's true. That would be a nice little screen.
yeah, and later today I will have I'll have that up in the store, I think, in the store.gumstix.com. It'll be under I think we have a category called sensors and displays. You'll find it in there. And it's reasonably priced as well. So
yeah. So while we were waiting for that demo to show, Tyeth did mention something. I shared the link to the Donna, right? And he says, Hackaday mentioned Intel end of life, but not many other sites. You need to shout about your service, Keith. The Nadana page has the link to the Intel memo, but no mention of your planned replacement end of life support. So that's true, but I'm wondering what you guys probably have some bigger press release going out for that, right?
Yeah, we want to make a louder announcement once we're closer to a resolution. Once the comm is ready ish.
Yeah.
We the plans are going forward. It's just we prioritize our customers' boards before we work on our own stuff. So every now and then it gets bumped down the line, and when it's ready, which we've gotten back to it now, when it's ready, we'll make waves, and hopefully people will pick up on that.
Yeah. Another question that popped up in the chat here at Keith. This is from Mani. Were you able to rotate the camera stream?
I can rotate the camera stream. You mean over UDP?
I don't know what he's referring to here. No, not over UDP.
It doesn't demo nicely, but I can rotate the display. Because it starts to look funny once I start actually scaling the image in the what is it called? There's a pipeline option to overlay multiple screens, and you can do alpha channels and stuff like that. But just because of the aspect ratio, it looks clunky.
Cool. So then let me. Are there going to be instructions provided for this, right? So I mean, I already see that the Aero Core 2 CD is available. I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
But I mean, are you going to provide any sort of build instructions or anything for people to recreate what you've done? I mean, I know you said it's pretty simple, but
yeah,
is there anything public?
The Gumstix GitHub repository. There's a repo under there that's just called demo source, and my bash scripts are there. We already have lots of material on how to set up our BitBake recipes and whatnot, and then all you have to do is change the board you're building for. I'll provide some extra instructions, but all you have to do is change the board you're building for to the Dragon board, and it'll include all those CSI2 and DSI drivers for these devices. And yeah, so
any plan on supporting other 96 boards?
We'd love to. You want to send us some? We don't have a bubblegum yet, and
Wait.
That's kind of been the one I've been most interested in. The high key is great, and I know the Dragon Board 920C is available as well. We'd love to look at those, but we don't have.
I'd actually love to get the cameras and the display working on a USB for high key and 60 especially.
Wait, so if we send you 96 boards, you'll enable more?
I will start working on it.
Cool.
Honestly,
okay.
The way AutoBSP is set up, I really want to be able to include all the 96 boards. I just need to be able to test them, and without the boards, I can't test.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, cool. So we'll have to talk more about that offline. Here, some stuff popped in the chat. So Mani, when he was referring to the flipping of the camera or rotating, he says, I tried rotating, but looked like OV5640 only supports H flip and V flip. So I don't know if you experienced anything with that. And then Tyeth, are you gonna put that command in?
I'm gonna look up the GStreamer command I use for rotation here.
Okay.
Because where is it?
Talking about Mani's project,
Cool. And
there is
what?
a sort of a sneak peek of it.
Oh, uh-oh. Let's see.
I don't know how well everyone can see it, but
It's
Oh,
a
it's a
little
photo.
let me
blurry.
unpin.
What?
Let me unpin. I think the other camera was still pinned. There you go.
It's a little photo booth. I think the camera is not focusing that well. But there's this screen right there and the camera up top. So it will be demoed on at Connect. So anyone's there, get your photos clicked.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, so it looks like you just posted the link, the command that you were using.
Yeah, it's an independent pipeline command. I use video flip because video flip can rotate. It can flip. It can rotate 90. It can rotate 180. And it seems to be independent of the camera sensor you're using.
Very cool.
I think someone's looking at the driver. Anyways, I think it's me. Just to see what options there are, because I would like to see this camera do cool things. So I want to dig deeper into the driver and see what I can do.
Nice.
When I have, maybe even on my own time. Seems like a cool project. Same thing with the DSI display. The image I'm using doesn't have capacitive touch because I've been working on this demo for a few days, but leading up to the Aero core release, we actually got the Cap Touch working over DSI. So that'll be in our BitBake image for the Dragon board as well.
Awesome. So do you plan on hosting any pre-built images, or is this all you have to build them yourself?
We will have VDable pre-built images available through our we have a build bot that does all of our nightlies, and through that we create some featured images and distribute them. So the links will be in the store once I have a chance to get back to work here.
Yeah. Nice, cool. So Keith, let's maybe see if there are any other questions in the chat here. I'm gonna kind of poke at some people, but yeah, let's do that. So I don't know, John Mark, did you have anything that you wanted to add or say during the show? No, you're good. Okay, Guillermo, how you doing? Good. Okay, perfect. Daniel. Daniel T. Okay, cool. And then Rajan, how you doing? Why you?
Pardon?
What happened?
I'm just saying I'm all getting geared up for Connect, so I've been busy on stuff.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Yeah, basically ready for Connect. Yeah, I think pretty much all of Lenaro is most out there running around like a chicken with the head cut off. Always.
I was about to get ready
and
for
then,
the Connect, but I just found out. I'm just saying I was about to get ready for the Connect, but I just found out my bag is too small. So I have to go and get a new bag.
Oh, too bad, man. Yeah, you're bringing the Carbon Rover over.
Yeah,
cool. Well, so Todd, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Oh, one quick one for Keith. It's a humorous. So how much do you use the video system or the drones to spy and pull pranks on your coworkers?
I don't. No, it's I certainly could. Just with some port forwarding on the router and a little bit of patience at home, I could definitely see who's in the office, but I don't.
I was going to say, with, they have all these things about the culture of startups and Silicon Valley startups, and the big thing is you bring your dog and you have a squirt gun and everything. Well, this will be the best seller for the ultimate prank gig at startups.
Well, I thought the whole water balloon idea was pretty great. Just hook up a mechanical arm to the bottom of your drone, watch the downward facing camera until you're directly above your target, let go. Seems like good times to me.
Absolutely. Cool.
So I don't know how many will get this reference, but I think we should do a coffee machine webcam part 2.
Coffee machine webcam. What's the reference?
Right. So I think
Actually, there's one more idea. How about the drop? You talking about coffee? Drop the espresso or coffee cup to the coworker from the little Amazon-like transport.
That's another way to wake people up. Coffee.
Did you hear about, I guess, Amazon talking about doing warehouses in the sky?
Yeah.
Has anyone heard about that?
Yes.
I mean, is that really happening, or is this as MythBuster? So who's going to myth bust it? I thought
like
that Amazon is talking about like buying airspace, right?
Yeah.
Like buying airspace and then putting like a blimp in the air with hundreds of drones. You order something and it can show up to your house like in under 10 minutes. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
It seems.
Anyways,
it's a lot of mass to hold up there. An Amazon warehouse. That'd be a big blimp.
future is now, Keith.
Hopefully they don't name hydrogen, right?
Yeah. Cool. So we're coming up to the top of the hour. We usually kind of transition at this point into after hours. But before we do that, Keith, did you have any last things you wanted to say? Any last links or resources you want to share with us?
I can't think of anything. If anyone wants to fund my spare time building drones, maybe I should start a GoFundMe or something like that.
Just create a crypto wallet and then just post all of your addresses somewhere.
Yeah. Does GoFundMe even exist anymore? Like,
no, everyone is just going to Patreon now.
Yeah, GoFundMe exists. I think it's also like it's a project based actually, you know what would be better? Maybe Saj, is that Patreon? Have you heard of Patreon?
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay, that's what you said. Keith, that would be pretty cool actually. I've entertained making a Patreon account, but I don't have anything of value to give.
I don't know how many patrons I would get since I only have about 100 Twitter followers.
When a couple people subscribe, they can like say, well, you can count me in for $1 a month. How about that?
Well, that's one more dollar I have that I didn't have before.
Yeah,
Robert,
more every month.
Did you say there will be a bill of materials and a how to do it yourself for both this and the drone demo in the previous? Will there be both a how to demo and a bill of materials sourcing somewhere?
So the drone demo. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, for the drone demo, I did a whole post with all of the parts I used and where I sourced them. I mean, some of the stuff I found lying around the office. We had already done some drone work, but yeah, I did supply sources for everything. I'll do the same for this. I'll provide the STL files for my mount, even though it's pretty hacked together. We actually have my boss actually designed a nice little camera mount. Here's my printed version. We have some. We ordered a few better prints, but it's just a little thing you can attach to the board that holds the camera in place. So I'll supply the STL for that as well. I will provide a link to our store for both the cameras, which we're going to supply, and the DSI display once I have it up. And that is pretty much all you would need.
And I will share for you, Todd. This is the drone blog from Keith back in, and this is how long ago it was, November 2nd, 2017. So definitely a year and a half ago. Yeah, that's the drone blog from Keith.
I can't believe it took me a year and a half to get back to Dragon Board. That's sad. Been trying to get to it for so long.
The good thing is that Dragon Board is still supported after a year and a half. By 96 boards is now run as well as Gumstix.
Yeah, it's definitely, everything has kind of gotten pretty. We've gone so far already. You know, there's still so much left to do, but we have gotten pretty far with 96 boards. It's definitely good to see you back working on the boards, Keith, because I love the stuff that you push out. This is going to be cool.
Yeah, and you know, it's the 96 boards thing. It's such a cool concept. It's really well thought out, and I definitely think we need more SoC vendors supporting the platform. So looking forward to seeing that.
Yes, and it's on the way. It's on the way. So Tyeth has another question here. He says, "Is it fasting enough for you to have tried OCR yet? Basically, face following, etc."
You know, I've been wanting to. I can tell you that as long as I'm doing all the processing on the edge using the Dragon Board, it shouldn't be a problem. The UDP feed it's just not there. I don't think there's too many. It's too chunky. But definitely, especially if you're reducing the resolution, which is what we usually do for computer vision type stuff. You're probably capable of getting probably 60 virtual frames per second. So it should be fast enough. I just haven't had time to work on the code. I haven't done computer vision since like my undergrad. So
Nice. Which was what, like 10 years ago?
not that long ago. No, I actually engineering is something I came back to. So it was probably 5 years ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had a long hiatus before I went back to school. So
Always good. Take some time off. So
not exactly.
so
I could have skipped the whole professional cook thing, but life skills, I guess. Life skills.
yeah, absolutely. Impress the ladies too.
Did he
All
say
right, cool. So
professional cook, as in food?
yeah. Is
Yeah,
that
6
wait,
years
Keith, is
as a
that what
cook.
you were? Oh, nice.
Are you a secret chef, Keith?
No. You know, I have done my best to forget everything I knew about cooking.
I say that would be another use case in restaurants, right? Deliver your food via drones or in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like the idea of drones flying around my head indoors. That's just
Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to close out the recordings now, if that's okay with you, Keith.
Actually, I'd like to pitch the Tech Talk episodes that we have been doing recently.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll paste a link in the chat, and that's basically a playlist of a bunch of episodes I've been doing with Robert as a very short kind of a well, we call it Tech Talk, and it is a Tech Talk. What we do is we discuss technologies around 96 boards, and it's sort of in a very similar form factor of say open house, but we do compress it a whole lot, and we usually aim for under 10 minutes. So the first two episodes was with the Rock 960, and then the last three episodes were with along with Mani, and we did a bit of MRA run through. So that's there, and we would sort of like some feedback on that, and now it's at a very experimental stage, and we'll see how it goes from there. It's basically just me and Robert talking about tech.
Yeah, and also if you want to do a tech talk with Sahaj and I, feel free to email Sahaj or me, and we'd be glad to set up a small little private chat on Blue Jeans, and we can just chit chat about something in particular, right? So if you want to do something like that later, Keith, if you're filling up for a quick little tech talk, let us know, and for that matter, anyone on the call. And we just gonna post these little fun little tech talks on YouTube. So yeah.
I'm interested. We'll hash it out some other time.
Excellent. All right. Well, so Keith, it was a pleasure. As always, it's awesome having you on Open Hours. Thank you so much. You had a chance to say any last words one more time? No?
Got nothing. Thank you for having me.
Cool.
It's been awesome.
No, it's of course. No, yeah, it's always a pleasure. Again, you're welcome anytime. Thank you everyone else on the call. We really appreciate this. Again, this is episode 96. I'm sorry, episode 95 next week, 96 live from Hong Kong. Keep an eye on the countdown, right? Because we're not going to be doing it on the regular time. Unfortunately, it won't work that well from Hong Kong. So keep an eye on the countdown. We will adjust that to accommodate the actual broadcast time, as well as possibly sending out some emails. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next week, episode 95, signing out.
Recording has stopped.
Sahaj, are we still on YouTube?
We are still closing it out.
Bye, YouTube.